So I'm Beth Webb, I'm here with NME, and I'm here with executive producer and director of Servant, M. Night Shyamalan. Could you describe to me, when you began making this show, can you describe to me the first day on set for you? What was going through your mind? You walked into this amazing house.
You know, first days are always filled with anxiety, and I want to set the tone right for everyone, and there's a lot of expectations, and I'm working with actors essentially most of the time for the very first time, and we've rehearsed really, intricately, and you want to set that energy right and the discipline right. So I dressed up more when I directed this piece, by the way, because we were on stage a lot, and it brought a kind of dignity to it that was just for me, really. And so the first shots we did were these wide shots of the apartment, and the visitor comes, and it was beautiful. Like when we finished the first shot, I was getting to know the movements of their bodies and how this works in the frame, and the cinematographer and I coming to a language of the shows. It's very, even as we talk about it, I remember how exciting it was for it coming to life. This kind of formal suspense thriller in Philadelphia.
And the house, it was a fully functioning house.
Yes, it was, yeah.
Was it built purposefully for this shoot?
Yeah, it's inside of a warehouse. We built this inside of a warehouse, and it's multiple floors that we put in there, but everything is functioning. And the theory was, because this is only one location a show, so we're going to be here for the whole run of the show, so we make it feel like it's real. It was based on a house that's down in Philly, so we kind of took those dimensions and took the way it was laid out and then made our own.
And how far did you go in terms of how functional it was? Did you cut corners? Did the toilets flush?
They do. There's no cutting any corners. It was toilets flush, the kitchen works, everything is real. The floors are real. You could fake everything, right? But it's, there's a scene where they sand the floors, and so it's a real wood, the real. I forget what wood they were using, but they were really sanding it, and you have to recoat it, and it was all the real stuff, and it gave the actors this real sense that when you could take away some of that artifice a bit, it helps them.
And how well did you know the cast prior to coming onto this project?
I didn't know the cast at all. They all auditioned for me. First, I think all 4 of them put themselves on tape for me, and I picked them, and then I met them in person and auditioned them again, which I love, because it shows that this character really connects to them at this point in their life. I'm not guessing. I know it speaks to them at that moment, and their energy comes out, and the way I can interact with them. So I didn't know any of them. The only person that I'd ever met before was Rupert, who I met as a child on the Harry Potter sets when there was some thought of me directing one of the Harry Potters.
Do you remember? Does he remember you? Do you remember him?
I remember him, definitely. They were kids. They were 13 years old, 14 years old. And but he claims he remembers. I don't think so. Some Indian dude that came to the set. He's not gonna remember. He didn't remember. He says now he did, but I think he's kind of rewritten that.
I want to talk about the food in this show. How important was the food to the story? Was it stage food or was it real food?
Oh, it was real food. We had one of the great chefs in the world help us and work on the presentations and what our character would be making. We had the amazing opportunity that our lead actor, Toby Kebbell, got to train at the restaurant, one of our best restaurants in Philadelphia, and he loves food, and he's become quite a great chef, and he really loves it. So even if his character was in the background of a scene, he's genuinely cooking a meal, and then at the end of that scene, you can go over and eat the meal that he's making, and oftentimes we did. He's like, Chase, this pasta bolognese I made, and I'd be like, wow, and sometimes you'd smell it, and it would that also, by the way, you're smelling all the real food in the house. It all feels authentic.
And just finally, I'd like to know from your point of view, and certainly moving forward with this project to the next season, what's the most important thing that you want people to take away from this show?
There's for me, underneath all these genre subjects that I'm making, there's something emotional underneath it. And for me, this is about a family, a husband, a wife, and a brother who are refusing to mourn. They're refusing to mourn what happened. And I think that's something real relatable, that we all run from things, but ultimately, mourning is another form of acceptance, and anytime we can accept things, we can be at peace and be present. And so that's the kind of the journey of the entire show, on top of all the mystery and all the weirdness that's happening.